Hey everyone, it's Angry Turtle, and in this video I want to explain how weapon, armor and clothing mods work in this game, because it's really not explained very well in the game. It took me a while first time before I realized how this stuff is actually working. Was you ever thinking why you have like awesome mod and you cannot install it on your weapon? Yeah, I will explain it exactly in this video and more. Now, let's start from the weapons. As you can see, those weapons have those empty dots in the corner in here. Some are already filled, some are empty. That means they have modifications available. But it's not always the same thing. Not every mod will be able to be installed. How you can figure out what can be installed? You just hover over the weapon and then this card appears. And if you look at the bottom, that says like increase damage to limbs by 5%. That's the mod that already installed on this weapon. And then there is empty mod slot, empty mod slot. It's quite simple, but there are not only mod slots, there are different slots as well. If we go to this pistol, Dying Knight, you can see there is no mod slot. There is empty scope slot and empty muzzle slot. Those are very different because you have a specific modifications. Mod is not a replacement for scope or muzzle slot. Then if you want to modify this pistol, you need to have a scope and a muzzle that can be installed. Let me show you. If I equip this weapon for a moment, and now from my inventory, I have this weapon equipped, I click on it, I can see the attachments, and this number 3 and this number 4, that's basically how many attachments I have. If I click on that, there's 3 scopes that I do have on me and I can install in here. The scopes that are compatible, and muzzles. There is 4 muzzles that I can install, but none of the other mods that I have in my inventory. I will show you how many mods I do have. If I open the backpack, I go into the mods. You can see I have different scopes as well, although those scopes are not compatible with the pistol and game will not tell you about it anywhere. You just need to figure it out by having the mod in your inventory and trying to modify the weapon. If you can't, it's not compatible with your weapon. Unfortunately, it's so bad that it's not stated anywhere. Although what's stated, it does says just below the name that it's a scope, that this is the muzzle, and this is a mod. The mod is the most universal and you can install on multiple weapons with multiple slots. But not all the weapon. Mod cannot replace your muzzle or the scope, as you were able to see on the pistol. And it doesn't work other way around either. If I will equip, let's say this shotgun that only have empty mod slots. There is no muzzle and no scope. Go back to my inventory and now I go into the mods. As you can see, I have 4 of those, and those are the regular mods that I can equip in here. And on both those slots, the same set of mods. None of them can be used to equip any type of scope or the muzzle. And now we're going back to my inventory again, backpack. And as you can see, those are all the mods that have stated mod in here. Those are the most universal and those will appear on basically any weapon. Unlike scopes and muzzles that need to be compatible with your type of a weapon, and unfortunately it's not stated anywhere. Now that being said about the weapons, let's take a look on the clothing. And situation here is way more simple because you have only empty clothing mod on any clothing stuff that you have in your inventory. And in case of this one, I already have equipped a mods. Let's take a look on it. To take a look on it, I need to click on the one that's equipped from my main inventory. And now you can see what kind of mods I have installed here. And they do stack, all those mods that giving you additional armor. I think there are some exceptions and some mods will not stack, but I'm not 100% sure which one. I think it's mainly for the mods that are giving you additional crit damage and stuff like that. But armor does stack, as if you hover over the shield, you can see the total armor is 555.4, which means all those armor pieces are added up. No clue why it's showing a different value just below. It's probably some display error, but it correctly adds up all the mods plus the shared value of armor to achieve 555. And now, unfortunately, another thing about the mods, you cannot unequip them. If you try to unequip them, you just have this info action blocked. Whatever you have equipped, whatever mod you have equipped, it's there to stay, and you cannot take it out. But you can destroy it if you need to replace it. If I, let's say, highlight this mod that's giving me 90 armor and I don't want it anymore, I want something else, I can go in here and let's say I want this damage over time reduction instead of this armor. Then I can use it. I can just click on it and it will be replaced. I click on it and there is a warning. You sure you want to change mods? Your currently equipped mod will be destroyed. You press yes and you have new one installed, the other one is removed. As you can see, my armor dropped, but I have damage over time reduction now instead. Now, how you get your mods? There's a couple options. You can of course buy them from vendors, and those vendors will be marked on your map, like clothing vendor will sell you clothes and mods for clothes, and weapon vendors will sell you weapons and mods for weapons. And different vendors will have different stock, then it's worth to check around the map, depend what you actually need. Like, let me go to this vendor, and now we can see it has like variety of clothes in the inventory that you can buy, including some blueprint. If you want to craft them yourself, you can buy blueprint and craft your clothes. And mods in here. This is the marker that show mods. If you go in here, I can see there is a armadillo mod that increases the armor, and I can just buy it for like 2000 eddies. That's not too expensive. And some people said that vendors will refresh inventory if you wait, but for whatever reason it's not working for me unless it was fixed in the patch. Let me show you. I just bought this one. I will get out. I will wait 24 hours, as people said that it's refreshing every 24 hours. Then let me try. Wait 24 hours. I go back in. I check and there is no mods. I bought it and it didn't refresh. Then at least for me, this method is not working. It's not refreshing the inventory. Now about the crafting. As you know, you can buy those blueprints for clothes and sometimes for mods, and sometimes you can find the blueprint. Of course, you need to have perks that will allow you to craft it. Like at this moment, I cannot craft that as it requires Edge Runner Artisan. I don't have this perk, therefore I cannot craft it. But I can craft Armadillo. And there is something important about crafting those mods. I will craft couple and I will show you. Let me craft like 110. That will be probably enough to showcase the point. Now let's go back to my inventory and to my backpack. Under mods, now you can see I have new Armadillo mods that are blue, and some that are white, and some that are green. And what does it mean? Even one purple. Actually, you are crafting like a common mod, but you have a chance to get a better quality. Like I get a bunch of blue, one purple, and some green, and of course some white, as it's a random chance. I'm not 100% sure if you can get a legendary mod, but there is probably a small chance to get one. The best I was getting so far was the purple epic mods just from crafting. And one more thing that you should know, as you can see, some of those white mods, the common ones, are giving me 90 armor, and other ones are giving me 114. Why is that? That's simply, I crafted those white one when I was lower level, and those I crafted now. And if you do not know, whatever you craft, it's scaling with your level. Therefore, whatever I crafted on lower level have lower value of armor. What I crafted now have higher value of armor. That's very important to remember, because if you crafted mods and you're very low level, then it's worth to craft them again and replace them, as they will be better. And now about weapon vendor and weapon shopping, just a quick tip. If you are going to buy some weapon, especially legendary ones, those are super expensive, and you can easily know what kind of mods are there. You just hover around it, it automatically compares with your weapon that you have equipped at the moment, and on the bottom of the list it says again type of empty mod slots. Here on this gun you have scope slot, muzzle slot, and 4 empty mod slots, the normal mods. It works with every weapon. You just hover around and you'll be able to tell what you are buying. And the same thing about buying the mods. You just go, click the mod icon, and you can see all the mods that the vendor is saying. Those are mods for weapon. When it says just a mod, it's a mod for weapon for a mod slot. When it says scope, it's for a scope slot. When it says muzzle, it's for a muzzle slot. Unfortunately, it will not tell you with what weapon it's compatible. And if you are interested in blueprints, unfortunately there is no tab for blueprints. Therefore, you need to be on the first tab and just scroll down, and all those colorful blueprints are in here, just like in the middle of the mods and components. I don't know why it's working like that, but here you can check the blueprints that you can buy and then craft weapons yourself. And at the very end, it's worth to mention that you have as well mods for your cyberware, and here it's a little bit tricky to figure out which mod is for what, as in most cases it will not be stated. Sometimes it is, like this one. At the bottom it says an upgrade to Kiroshi optical cyberware. It says it just above the weight and price. Then on some of them you will know what the mod is for. On most of the other, unfortunately, you will not know until you have a proper component that can be modded with that. If you go into your inventory and cyberware, and from here you can like open that and you see what kind of mods you have. Those dots, the same like armor and weapons, those are the mods. Like I have available 1 empty slot for my arm, but even though like they both state cyberware mod, but I have 2 mods for first slot and not a single mod for second slot, and I so far don't know how to tell which mod will fit into this slot. Then there are still things that I do not know, but I hope it will be helpful what I shared so far, and it will help you mod your perfect weapon that you will be using and find your mods that you really need. And of course, if you know what I don't know, please let me know in comment section. If you have any questions, do the same thing. I will try to help if I can. And now, as always, thank you a lot for watching, and see you guys in the next one.